Did you know your brain literally perceives a new daily routine as a physical, mortal threat?
Wait, like a physical threat? Like a tiger jumping out of the bushes?
Exactly, like neurologically indistinguishable from a literal predator. Welcome back to English Pod Center, by the way. I'm Luna.
And I'm Lucas, and frankly, I'm already stressed out.
Right. Well, today we're dissecting the psychology and really the evolutionary neurobiology of why we are completely, hopelessly paralyzed by change.
Paralyzed is, it's the right word. Because I will stay in a terrible situation just because I know it.
Right, the devil you know. In behavioral economics, it's called the status quo bias.
Status quo bias. Okay, but why? If I know something is bad for me, like rationally, my prefrontal cortex knows it's toxic, why does my brain still choose the toxic thing over, an unknown but potentially phenomenal alternative?
Okay, so picture your brain as this incredibly stingy, micromanaging accountant.
Okay, an accountant. Bob from accounting is up there running the show.
Exactly. Bob is obsessed with one metric and one metric only: metabolic efficiency.
Metabolic efficiency, so saving energy?
Yes, your brain consumes roughly 20% of your body's caloric intake, despite being only 2% of your physical mass?
Geez, Bob is greedy.
Right? So Bob has to optimize everything, and the absolute best way to optimize energy is predictability. Algorithms, essentially. Habits.
Oh, so when I do the exact same thing every day, same commute, same breakfast, Bob is just coasting.
Coasting. Autopilot. The basal ganglia takes over, and your cognitive load plummets to near zero.
Okay, but then what happens when I decide, hey, I'm going to quit my job and move to Barcelona?
Bob freaks out. Bob completely loses his mind.
Because it requires too much energy to calculate all the new variables?
Precisely. The moment you introduce novelty, you shatter the predictive model.
Wait, predictive model? Like how my brain thinks the day is going to go?
Yeah, it's called the predictive processing framework. It's this extremely prominent theory in cognitive science. Your brain isn't passively reacting to the world. It's constantly hallucinating predictions about it.
Hallucinating predictions? That sounds wild.
I know, it's a bit dense, but basically, your brain anticipates sensory inputs before they even happen, just to save processing power.
So if the prediction matches reality, energy saved.
Boom. But if there's a discrepancy, what neuroscientists call a prediction error, your brain has to suddenly allocate massive cognitive resources to resolve the anomaly.
Ah, and resolving anomalies takes calories, takes effort.
Exactly. And Bob hates spending effort, but it's actually worse than just being lazy.
Worse than lazy? How?
Because from an evolutionary standpoint, a prediction error didn't just mean a mild inconvenience. In the Pleistocene era, an unpredictable variable meant death.
Oh, right. Like, that bush is rustling differently today.
Exactly. If you ignore the rustling bush because you're feeling adventurous,
You get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger.
you get eaten. So your amygdala, the brain's primal threat detection center, fires off a massive cortisol response.
The stress hormone, right.
Right. So now, fast forward to modern life. You want to change your software system at work.
Don't even joke about that. I absolutely despise new software.
See? Your amygdala literally treats that new software update with the exact same physiological panic as a rustling bush.
Wait, seriously? It doesn't differentiate between like a minor inconvenience and actual mortal peril?
Not initially, no. The initial somatic response is identical. It's just an alarm bell screaming, uncertainty, danger.
That is incredibly frustrating. No wonder I get sweaty palms when they change the layout at the grocery store.
Literally, your spatial prediction is ruined, and Bob is suddenly working overtime to remap the aisles.
Okay, but wait, if we are biologically hardwired to reject change, how did we ever evolve? Like, why did we ever leave the caves?
That is the million-dollar question, because alongside the amygdala, we developed a highly sophisticated prefrontal cortex.
The logical part, the human part.
The executive functioning center, yeah. It allows us to override that basal fear response through abstract reasoning.
So we can basically say, shut up, Bob, it's just a grocery store, calm down.
Exactly. We can conceptualize long-term rewards that completely outweigh the short-term metabolic costs.
Okay, I get that, but it feels like Bob wins most of the time. Why is the override so difficult for people?
Because overriding requires, you guessed it, even more energy. In psychology, it's often referred to as ego depletion.
Ego depletion. Wait, I've heard of that. Is that like decision fatigue?
Very closely related, yes. Cognitive control is a finite resource. If you're stressed, tired, or overwhelmed,
Which is, let's be honest, literally everyone right now.
exactly. If you're fundamentally exhausted, your prefrontal cortex just goes offline. It doesn't have the juice to fight the amygdala.
Wow, so you just default to the easiest, most familiar path, the status quo.
You default to the path of least resistance. It is literally a biological energy conservation mechanism.
Honestly, that makes me feel significantly less guilty about my terrible habits.
Well, I mean, don't let yourself entirely off the hook, Lucas.
Hey, you just gave me the biological alibi. I'm taking it.
Right, but understanding the mechanism shouldn't preclude accountability. It just mitigates the shame.
Mitigates the shame. Okay, I like that. So if we're constantly defaulting to the path of least resistance, how do we ever actually change anything? Like, how does a new behavior even stand a chance against that kind of entrenched neurological infrastructure?
Okay, imagine your brain is a dense, impenetrable tropical jungle, like Amazon basin level of thick.
Okay, tracking. Lots of bugs, presumably.
Exactly. Your established habits, your routines, the status quo, that is a massive 8-lane superhighway slicing right through the middle of the jungle.
Oh, wow.
It's paved, it's illuminated, there are rest stops. Let me guess, Bob is driving a sports car on this highway. Bob is blasting down it in a convertible, yes. It requires zero cognitive overhead.
Right.
Now, trying to implement a new change, say waking up an hour earlier to exercise, is like pulling over on the side of that highway,
Ugh, I hate this already.
getting out of the car, and trying to hack your way through the virgin jungle with a blunt butter knife.
A butter knife, not even a machete?
No, because you're ego depleted, remember? You don't get a machete.
Now I get it. So the sheer exertion of swinging that knife, the metabolic tax, makes your brain go, why are we doing this when the highway is right there?
Precisely. The friction is immense. And this brings us to another massive barrier, loss aversion.
Loss aversion. That's a behavioral economics thing, right? Like Kahneman and Tversky?
Look at you, Lucas, dropping the Nobel laureates. Yes, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky.
I dabble in Wikipedia binges at 3 a.m. So explain loss aversion in the context of, being terrified of change.
So fundamentally, human beings experience the pain of losing something roughly twice as acutely as the pleasure of gaining something of equal value.
Wait, I don't get it. Twice as much?
Yeah, so like if I gave you $100 right now, you'd be happy, right?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it, Luna.
But if you reached into your pocket and realized you lost a $100 bill, the psychological distress from that loss is disproportionately larger than the joy of finding it.
Oh, absolutely. It would ruin my entire Tuesday. I'd be ruminating on it for days.
Exactly. It's a completely asymmetrical psychological response.
Okay, but if we apply that to life changes?
Yes, connect the dots.
Any change, even a positive one, inherently requires letting go of something familiar.
Boom. You're giving up the known for the unknown.
Jeez. So even if the new thing, like a new job or ending a toxic relationship, even if the potential upside is objectively better,
Your brain doesn't care about the objective upside. It's obsessing over the perceived loss of stability.
because we overvalue what we already possess.
Yes, it's called the endowment effect.
Endowment effect. Right. Like, this is my miserable job, but at least it's mine.
It's funny because it's tragically accurate. We cling to suboptimal paradigms simply because they are familiar.
So it's almost like a cognitive illusion. We weigh the potential risks of the new situation far more heavily than the actual tangible miseries of our current situation.
Exactly. And your amygdala, our good friend Bob, is sitting there amplifying the risks. He's whispering, "What if you fail? What if it's worse?"
Man, Bob is really just a pessimistic buzzkill, isn't he?
He's a survivalist. He's not optimizing for your self-actualization, Lucas. He's optimizing to keep you alive.
I mean, literally, surviving is great, but thriving would be nice too, you know?
Well, the evolutionary mismatch is the core issue. Bob evolved in an environment where a novel experience usually meant you were about to be eaten by a predator.
Right. Like, hey, what's in that new cave? Oh, it's a saber-toothed tiger. You're dead.
Exactly. Curiosity killed the cat and early hominids. So sticking to the known territory was a highly adaptive heuristic.
A heuristic being like a mental shortcut?
Right, a cognitive shortcut. But today, the novel cave isn't a predator's den. It's taking a coding boot camp or moving to a new city.
But our nervous system is still responding with the exact same biochemical panic alarm.
You nailed it. You're experiencing a primal physiological threat response to a modern psychological opportunity.
Okay, so we're fighting metabolic laziness, we're fighting asymmetrical loss aversion, and we're fighting evolutionary mismatch.
Don't forget social contagion. That's the fourth pillar.
Oh, come on, there's more? We're socially wired to avoid change too?
We are intrinsically tribal creatures, Lucas, to diverge from the normative behavior of your peer group.
Wait, actually, hold on, never mind, keep going.
No, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just thinking about how when I tried to go vegan last year, my friends literally acted like I had joined a cult.
Yes, exactly. Because when you implement a radical lifestyle shift, it inadvertently highlights their inertia.
Oh, wow. So my dietary choice felt like a subconscious indictment of their habits.
100%. It's not just that humans fear change for themselves. We desperately fear change in our social ecosystem.
Right, because if I change, the whole dynamic, like the equilibrium of the group, is threatened.
Precisely. It's called systemic homeostasis. You're basically, imagine a perfectly choreographed synchronized swimming team.
Uh-huh.
And right in the middle of this beautiful, cohesive routine, you just start violently breakdancing.
Just doing windmills in the pool?
Right. You're drowning, ruining the aesthetic, kicking people in the face. To the group, your personal evolution feels like an aggressive disruption.
Geez, that makes so much sense. I mean, they literally said, "Why are you being so difficult, Lucas?" Like I was doing it to them.
Because on a fundamental evolutionary level, cohesion meant survival. If one hunter-gatherer decided to suddenly, try domesticating a saber-toothed tiger instead of hunting it,
The whole tribe gets eaten.
exactly. So your friends are instinctively reacting to your veganism like you're bringing a live predator into the cave.
The predator being tofu?
A terrifying block of fermented soy, yes.
Okay, wait. So if our biology, our metabolism, our loss aversion, and our social networks are all conspiring against us, how does anyone ever change?
Well, that's where we have to pivot to the fifth and arguably most insidious obstacle.
There's a fifth? Luna, come on, you're depressing me. What's left?
Identity paralysis, the ego's absolute terror of ontological annihilation.
Ontological annihilation. Okay, you're gonna have to dumb that down for me. You mean like fear of death?
Close. Fear of psychological death, the death of the self you've constructed.
Wait, I don't get it. How is changing careers or starting to work out a death?
Because we conflate our current behaviors with our immutable identity. If you've spent 10 years being the cynical, overworked corporate guy,
Right.
and suddenly you want to become, say, an optimistic yoga instructor, your brain panics. Because who are you without the cynicism and the burnout?
Oh, now I get it. It's like a sunk cost fallacy, but for your personality.
Lucas, that is incredibly profoundly accurate. Yes, the sunk cost fallacy of identity.
Because you've invested, what, decades building up the specific avatar?
Exactly. You've cultivated the wardrobe, the lexicon, the peer group.
The whole synchronized swimming routine.
Yes, the routine. To abandon it feels like you're erasing your own existence. It triggers acute existential dread.
So people will literally stay in miserable situations, toxic relationships, soul-crushing jobs, just because it's familiar?
Not just familiar, because it reinforces their existing self-concept. We crave narrative consistency more than we crave happiness.
Narrative consistency. Wow, that's actually terrifying.
It really is. It's why people self-sabotage right when things start going well. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, absolutely. Like you finally get into a healthy relationship and then you just pick a fight over the dishwasher.
Yes, because your internal narrative says, I am unlovable and chaotic. When reality contradicts that narrative, the cognitive dissonance is so excruciating that you instinctively blow up the relationship to restore the old familiar misery.
So we're hostages to our own autobiographies.
If we remain entirely unexamined, yes, we operate on algorithmic autopilot.
Okay, Luna, I need a lifeline here. Seriously, give the listeners something actionable. How do we bypass this?
We have to practice cognitive decoupling, separating the action of change from the identity of the changer.
Cognitive decoupling. Okay, walk me through an example of that in real life.
Sure. Have you ever heard of fear setting? It's a conceptual framework popularized by Tim Ferriss, drawing heavily from Stoic philosophy.
Like, instead of goal setting, you're setting fears?
Essentially, yes. Instead of vaguely dreading a change, you explicitly quantify the absolute worst-case scenario on paper.
Oh, I think I've done something like this. Like, if I quit my job, I'll go bankrupt and live under a bridge.
Right. But you don't stop there. You dissect it. You write down, what are the specific actionable steps I could take to repair the damage if the absolute worst happened?
Ah, so you realize that living under a bridge is actually highly improbable.
And entirely reversible. You realize, oh, I just move back into my parents' basement and do freelance work for 6 months.
Right. The catastrophic ambiguity becomes a tangible, solvable logistical puzzle.
Precisely. You transform an abstract existential threat into a finite operational checklist. It dramatically downregulates the amygdala's panic response.
That's brilliant. It's like turning on the lights in the cave so you realize the monster is just a weird shadow.
Exactly. A shadow cast by your own neurobiology.
So here's a mental exercise for everyone listening. Think about one major change you've been procrastinating on.
Yes, love this. Pick one thing.
Got it? Okay, now I challenge you to literally write down the most apocalyptic, disastrous outcome of making that change.
Write it in agonizingly specific detail. Then write out the exact mitigation strategy you'd employ to fix it.
I'm literally going to do this tonight for, well, I won't say it on air, but a project I've been terrified to launch.
You'll be astounded by how quickly the paralysis dissipates when you realize you're resilient enough to handle the worst-case scenario.
Seriously. If you guys found this paradigm shift as mind-blowing as I did, make sure you hit subscribe to English Pod Center so you never miss these deep dives.
And it's not just about mitigating the paralysis, Lucas. There's a massive neurochemical payoff waiting on the other side.
Wait, a payoff? Like a dopamine spic?
Exactly. Once you voluntarily confront the feared change, your brain switches from defensive apprehension to proactive mastery.
Proactive mastery? Oh, I like the sound of that.
Right? It fundamentally rewires your dopaminergic pathways. You get this intrinsic reward for merely surviving the novelty.
So it's like your brain saying, hey, we didn't die. Good job.
Literally, that's exactly it.
But why does it, still feel exhausting even after you make the change? Like moving to a new city. You're excited, but completely drained.
Ah, cognitive load. You're operating entirely in your prefrontal cortex, which is, it's incredibly energy intensive.
Because you don't have the autopilot on yet.
Precisely. Every minor decision, where the grocery store is, how the coffee machine works, requires conscious deliberation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't just zone out.
You can't. Your brain is aggressively forming new neural synapses, and neuroplasticity takes immense metabolic energy.
Geez, no wonder people just give up and revert back to their miserable but comfortable routines.
Which is a phenomenon psychologists call an extinction burst.
Extinction burst? Wait, what's that?
It's when a behavioral pattern briefly intensifies right before it's permanently eliminated, like a desperate last stand.
A last stand? Give me an example.
Okay. Imagine a toddler throwing the most catastrophic tantrum right before they finally accept a new bedtime rule.
Oh, now I get it. Or wait, like when you're trying to quit sugar and on day 4, you suddenly want to eat an entire bakery?
Yes, your brain goes into overdrive trying to compel you back to homeostasis.
That is terrifyingly relatable. I mean, my brain is the ultimate saboteur.
We all have that saboteur, Lucas, but recognizing it as an extinction burst, just a temporary neurochemical tantrum, strips it of its glower.
So you just have to outlast the tantrum.
Exactly. It's finite. If you capitulate, you reinforce the fear. If you persist, the new behavior becomes the baseline.
Man, that completely reframes self-sabotage. It's not a moral failing, it's just mechanics.
Pure biological mechanics, like dealing with that grumpy waiter we talked about earlier.
Right, the grumpy waiter in your head who hates new menu items.
He's just trying to keep the kitchen running efficiently, even if the food is terrible.
I don't care if the soup is toxic, we are serving the soup.
Exactly. So you have to be the executive chef and say, nope, we are changing the menu. Deal with it.
I love that. So, Luna, for the people listening right now who are just standing on the precipice of a massive transition, what is the absolute number one non-negotiable thing they need to remember tomorrow morning?
That anxiety and excitement are physiologically identical,
Wait, really? Identical?
completely indistinguishable at the autonomic level. Elevated heart rate, cortisol fluctuation, heightened vigilance.
So it's just the label we slap on it that makes it terrifying?
Precisely. It's cognitive appraisal. If you label that arousal as fear, you freeze. If you reappraise it as anticipation, you move forward.
Oh man, cognitive appraisal. So when my stomach is doing flips about this project, I'm not scared, I'm just aggressively anticipating it.
You are physiologically primed for optimal performance.
I am definitely stealing that framing. I'm not terrified, I'm physiologically primed.
It works. Reframing the narrative diminishes the amygdala's tyrannical grip on your behavior.
This whole conversation has been insanely eye-opening, Luna. Seriously.
It's a fascinating paradigm to deconstruct, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, wait, I have a challenge for the audience.
Oh, let's hear it.
Aside from the worst case scenario exercise, I want you guys to go to the comments right now.
Love this. What are they answering?
I want to know what is one change you were absolutely paralyzed by, but after you did it, you realized the fear was a complete illusion.
Oh, that's a brilliant prompt. Reflecting on past triumphs builds self-efficacy for future changes. Exactly. Share your stories down there. I'm going to be reading all of them, probably to hype myself up for my own thing.
We're holding you accountable for that project, Lucas.
I know, I'm trapped now.
Good. The public commitment serves as an excellent behavioral catalyst.
Look at you, diagnosing me right to the very end.
Occupational hazard.
Guys, if this broke your brain in the best way possible, hit that subscribe button to English Pod Center.
And share this with someone who is currently battling their own extinction burst.
Yes, we'll see you guys in the next deep dive. Keep rewiring those brains.